Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee joins us now. Governor Huckabee, good morning. It's great to see you. What do you make of the president's executive order and the timing of it? It coming a day after this horrific police shooting where police officers, Border Patrol ran in, risked their lives to save as many people as possible. And then you have the president signing this order that essentially hamstrings police.
It's more of Joe Biden's political theater. I don't think Joe actually writes this stuff. It's pretty evident that he's not always aware of what he's saying. But the tragedy is that you're once again trying to make the cops the bad guys and make the bad guys as if they don't exist. We've got a crime problem, not a cop problem. Are there some maybe bad cops? Of course there are. There are bad people in every profession. But overwhelmingly, the police officers of America are the people who work for very low pay. They do an incredibly important and dangerous job, and they put their lives on the line for the rest of us. A simple thank you from time to time would be kind of nice for them, but instead they get treated as if they're the problem, and it's just wrong. I wish Joe Biden would get up at the podium, thank them, say we're going to stand behind them, and try to make their life better, and ask mothers and fathers to raise their kids to respect police officers. And if you have a beef with a cop, don't take it out on the street. There's a proper time and place, but when he stops you, pulls you over, or asks for something about what you're doing, that's not the time to have an argument or get into a debate about law enforcement standards.
Speaking of law enforcement, there are calls to have law enforcement in every single school in the country. That begs the question, Governor, why isn't there some armed officer, somebody to protect each and every school in the United States of America?
It's a simple matter of money. That's why it isn't there, because schools are saying we're struggling to get enough textbooks in the classroom and high technology, things that the students are needing and that parents are demanding. But at some point, just like we did when we decided we're going to put intense security in every airport and every public place, every stadium, we'll do it at schools, and we'll do it because people decide we don't ever want to see these kind of things again. And you may not be able to completely prevent it. There'll still be capacities for people to break through various security levels. But the steps that we could take would be worth taking.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking back to my parents' generation and generations before them, and you know, they had issues, they had problems, whether it's World War II or the Great Depression. I think that of this generation, the fundamental issue is mental health and what's going on with depression and drug use. And when you think about the makeup of these gunmen that are going to schools or grocery stores, it is typically teenage boys. This is something that you didn't have to deal with when you were growing up. What is going on in this country right now?
Yeah, when I went to school, most of us would have deer rifles in the back of a pickup truck, and they would be parked on the school parking lot. Nobody thought a thing of it. Everybody had guns, but no one ever thought about turning them on the teachers and students at our schools. And one of the differences is, you've mentioned, Carly, is mental health. But mental health is something that starts at home. It also starts when our culture and our society understands that when you see an entire generation of kids who are raised by people that aren't their parents, and you have people that don't feel like they're loved, I'm not saying that every person who commits a crime like this is an unwanted, unloved person, but we've created an incredible psychological mess by having so many kids being raised where they're confused about who they are, what matters to them, whether they're valuable. And, you know, you add to that and then medicate a bunch of them with high-powered drugs. Yeah. And this is what we get. It's tragic. And yeah, God help us all for creating this kind of culture.
Before we let you go, let's end on a high note. Your daughter, Sarah Sanders, following your footsteps, easily winning the GOP nomination for Arkansas governor. Your thoughts, Dad?
Well, I wish I'd have had numbers like that. My gosh, 83+%. Pretty doggone good. I'm really proud of her. Proud of all my children, but Sarah is the one who's on the stage and in the spotlight. She'll be a terrific governor, and not because she's my daughter, but because I think she spent her life genuinely caring about issues. And I tell people that the truth about Sarah, she's tough as a tiger, but she's tender as a mom, and I think that's going to be her strong suit going in as governor.
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree with you and her. It was great to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Congratulations to your daughter, Sarah, as well.